What if Iron Man was forced to play Squid Game? In red light, green light, he'd simply just hack the doll so it stays on green light forever. During Dalgona, while everyone's licking sugar, he'd use a micro laser to carve the perfect shape in seconds. In Tug of War, his teamwork strategy is turning on his thrusters and dragging the other team into the abyss. And in Glass Bridge, there's no point picking tiles, he'd just fly straight to the end. No! Could licking Squid Game's Dalgona actually kill you? Well, you see, licking uses saliva, and saliva is body water. So if you're spitting every drop to win, that water's gone. You would only lose about 40 milliliters per candy, which isn't much. In order to even die from dehydration, you'd need to lose around 10 liters of body water. That's about 250 candies of non-stop licking and constant spitting. Is it possible to jump rope for 24 hours straight? It might seem doable at first, but after just 10 minutes, blisters start forming. By the 1 hour mark, your coordination fades, your calves and ankles ache, and every jump further risks a misstep. Hit hour 2, and you've already lost so much body water that your brain starts fogging. At this point, you'll mistime a jump and won't even realize you're falling. After his big speech, Gi-hun falls straight into a sea of Legos. From 100 feet up, you'll be hitting those plastic toys at highway speed, which by far is the worst surface you could possibly land on. Lego bricks are very strong, and they're covered in sharp corners. At a normal scale, they just hurt your feet. But from this height, they've basically turned into millions of plastic knives waiting to play with you. What if Gi-hun had to face alternate versions of himself? Believe it or not every Gi-hun would agree to stop the games. Each of them have their own different backstories, with some turning out straight up evil, broken inside, or completely weird. Now, some Gi-huns would be perfectly built for some games and completely terrible at another, and some Gi-huns wouldn't even be players at all. He could have ended up as the front man running the games, or he might be a VIP just enjoying the show. What if Gi-hun woke up in Roblox Squid Game? From the beginning, you'd see people breaking the rules. Some would have admin commands, and you'd see hackers moving at the speed of light. In games like Glass Bridge, they won't even jump at all. Many will just buy the skip game pass or hack float across the map. So how do you even win against players who literally can't die? You use the oldest trick in the book and make them leave the game. Glass Bridge was way too easy, so the frontman decided to make it harder. Instead of having just 2 boring tiles, there are now 3 to choose from, and 2 of them are wrong. But that's not even the worst part. The moment you land on a correct tile, a 10-second timer starts ticking, and if it hits 0, the tile will explode, taking you down with it, leaving everyone behind with nowhere to go. If you played jump rope at 1,000 feet, the only problem would be your fear of heights. But at 10,000 feet, all you'd see are clouds below, and the wind would be so strong that losing balance even slightly would send you flying out. At 100,000 feet, you're near the edge of the atmosphere, breathing gets harder, and each jump feels lighter. But at 1 million feet, you're basically in space, one tiny hop, and you'd float away forever. If you fell off Squid Game's Glass Bridge, how many bones would you break? You see, the bridge is about 65 feet high, so you'd be falling at 44 miles per hour straight down. Even landing feet first, your legs would take nearly 490,000 newtons of force. That's like 2 grand pianos smashing each leg. You'll break about 6 to 12 bones minimum, and that's if you don't land sideways or face first. Can you just walk on the railings during Glass Bridge? The beams are actually smaller than your feet, so walking it like a circus tightrope walker would send you straight down sooner or later. Instead, crawl on all fours to spread out your balance. If you don't look down and just keep moving forward, you'd reach the end before you even know it. The only problem is, that's against the rules. If you somehow got the Nightmare Dalgona triangle, don't worry, there's still a way to win. First, start by carefully poking along the outer edges of the cookie. Make featherlight passes along the etched line, and eventually the outline will snap free. But the problem is, you'll still have to carve out the inner shapes, and by then, the clock's already against you. So what you want to do is use the needle on the person next to you and take their Dalgona instead. Jump rope was too easy, so the frontman decided to make some new improvements. Now, in the middle of the game, the lights will turn off completely. The pathway will still be lit, but the most interesting part is that the rope will not be. So you'll have to trust your timing and pray you jump at the right moment. Miss just once, and it's over before the lights even turn back on. If you jump from 100 feet high, using an umbrella like Mary Poppins might actually save you. That's because umbrellas do create drag and slow you down, but to not look absolutely stupid, a normal-sized umbrella won't cut it. To break your fall and land safely, you'd need an umbrella that's about 5 meters wide and pray it doesn't suddenly curve outward on the way down. What if red light, green light was 3,000 miles long? That's basically walking across the entire United States. It would take about 1 month and 21 days of non-stop walking, not even counting all the red lights ruining your pace. Guards will follow behind to ensure nobody stops playing. Eventually, players start sleeping on their feet and eating while walking. By the time they see the finish, they'd think it's finally over, only for the doll to reveal it's time for round 2. If red light, green light was played on a 45-degree uphill slope, you'd be fighting gravity with every single step. And because the field is sand, your muscles have to work even harder just to keep you from sliding. But the biggest killer here is that it will only take one person to kill hundreds. Because if one person at the front gets eliminated, their body will roll back down the hill, taking everyone below them with them like a domino. What if red light, green light was played on ice? Normally, when the doll turns around, you just freeze. But because friction is low on ice, you'd still keep sliding even if you stop walking the second it yells red light. And it's worse if you were jogging, because you'd be skidding for nearly 10 whole seconds before coming to a complete halt. To survive, you have to shuffle like a penguin at a snail's pace and pray you don't slip on the way. This is what Jenga would look like in Squid Game. It would be stacked into a skyscraper made of Jenga blocks, with each one being roughly the size of a car. Each pair of players has to pull out one block every round. The moment someone slips and the tower starts to fall, they'll be crushed beneath the collapsing Jenga. What if Squid Game played musical chairs? Every round, the music could last up to 10 hours, so no one really knows when it'll stop. And if you stopped walking while the music's on, you're eliminated. Once the music cuts and everyone sits down, not only are the standing players killed, but one chair will be secretly wired to electrocute whoever sits on it. Each round, chairs will shrink in number, but trapped chairs will double until one person is left. What if Squid Game played Simon Says? The doll will be Simon and players must do what it says. At first it's easy, like jumping or spinning around, but soon she asks for things only a few can do, like a backflip. Then things will turn dark. Simon stops being fun and starts asking for things no sane person would ever do, like killing the player next to you, which isn't a Simon order at all. What if Squid Game played The Floor is Lava? The moment it begins, your first move is to get off the floor before you burn. From here, your positioning determines your fate. Someone dangling off a steel bar is way more doomed than someone just sitting on top of a slide. But because lava keeps rising inch by inch, at some point, your safe spot isn't safe anymore. So you either wait around and roast or start attacking everyone until you're the last person standing.